Hey, how y'all doing today? Welcome to Calvin's Kitchen. I'm Calvin. You know the rest. So check this out. I'm gonna be real with y'all since we're family already, we're friends. The reason why I'm doing this is because I had my wisdom teeth extracted about 2 weeks ago, and I've been eating liquids and I've been craving all kind of things and I couldn't eat them. So now I think I can tackle a pizza. So today I'm gonna show you how to make Chicago style pizza. Now, before I even had Chicago style pizza in Chicago, I tried to make it myself and it was very successful, and I've made it several times since. So I've been to Chicago twice since I made my first Chicago style pizza. And the first time I went to Lou Malnati's and I dined in, and it was definitely a sit down dinner type experience, and the pizza was, you know, it was to die for. So the last time I just ordered pizza, I was in Chicago during the blizzard, and but I was able to pick up a Giordano's before it got real crazy, and man, I was in heaven. But anyway, here we go with the ingredients. Ready? 4 cups of flour, 1 cup of milk, a tablespoon of butter, a tablespoon of sugar, I have sugar somewhere, a teaspoon of salt, and a package of dry yeast. That's for your dough. And for the dough, I remember when I was younger and I used to watch cooking shows and things like that, and they would always come up with an ingredient or some tool that I didn't have, and I'm like, okay, that looks good, but I can't make it. And I hope that I don't do that to y'all, but it does help to have a mixer to do the dough. Once again, you can skip this whole dough part altogether if you can find some dough in the freezer, I think at your local grocery store, and try to do it that way. But I find that I make my own dough. That really makes it special. So, but yeah, you need a mixer because it's so much, 4 cups of flour and milk, it just makes it so thick. All right, so that's just for the dough. You got that? Flour, milk, butter, sugar, salt, and yeast for the dough. Okay, so there's some basic ingredients for the filling, and it's pizza. So you can put in whatever you want in your pizza, but you're gonna start out with a 1/3 pound of mozzarella cheese, boom. 2 cups of crushed tomatoes or whole peel Italian style tomatoes. I'm gonna go with crushed today. A teaspoon of basil, a teaspoon of oregano, 2 cloves of garlic minced, but I'm gonna use my minced garlic already done. Salt, 3 tablespoons of Parmesan cheese, and 3 tablespoons of olive oil. Now I'm gonna add, onions and green peppers, and I'm gonna use fresh basil. And I'm gonna put pepperoni in my pizza. We're doing pepperoni pizza. So that's the basic ingredients. We're gonna get it started. All right, here we go. Chicago style pizza is not thin. It is a thick, deep dish pizza. And so you will also need like a deep dish pan. So I'm gonna use my deep dish pan. This is about 13 inches, but I mean, you don't need that big, but it's probably good to have this because a lot of people are gonna want some. So I'm gonna have that. And then just to make sure my temperature is right, because when making dough, the water has to be a certain temperature, somewhere between 120 and 130 Fahrenheit. I just have a little water candy thermometer or whatever. You probably could use your meat thermometer, but my meat thermometer doesn't go down to that number or something. But you can still, as long as the water is not boiling and it's not cool when you're making the dough. All right. Okay, you ready? Here we go. Once upon a time, you put the pot on the stove. I'm just kidding. So we're basically the first step is we're gonna scald our milk with the butter, sugar, and salt. We're gonna get that mixed together, and then we're gonna combine that with the flour, but milk first. So we're gonna do a cup of milk. In a small size saucepan, you put a cup of milk and a tablespoon of butter. So we also need a tablespoon of sugar and a teaspoon of salt. And a teaspoon of salt. Because cooking, besides being emotional, it's scientific. And I don't like to guess too much. Like you can guess on some seasoning, but some things I just don't guess. I just measure. And then it's the same way every time. I'm using kosher salt. You can use regular salt. And the recipe says to scald the milk and then let it cool down to, like I said, 120 to 130 Fahrenheit. And then we'll get to the mixing bowl and all of that stuff. I'm taking the temperature to make sure my milk is, like I said, in that zone 120, between 120 and 130. And I think I'm in a good place. So let me get a spatula. Now we're gonna go to the mixing bowl. This is where I'm gonna put my yeast while it's warm. I could have done it in a pot, but I like to do it in a bowl. I'm up here spilling stuff. All right, well. All right. Clean as you go, clean as you go. All right, so now I'm gonna put a package of yeast in here. I think I'm gonna start with the mixing hook and then get the dough hook. So I'm gonna mix the yeast with the milk mixture. Then I'm gonna put this dough hook on and I'm gonna slowly add the 4 cups of flour. You know it's ready when the dough pulls away from the sides of the bowl. So I was watching the dough, and I guess after about 5 minutes, I felt like it was not moist enough. So I just added a little bit more milk. I've never made it with milk before. I normally make it with olive oil and water. But today I'm doing the milk, and it's coming together into a ball now, so that's cool. So the dough is the hardest part to me, just trying to get it right. So after adding some liquid and adding a little bit more milk and a tad of water, I got my dough ball together now. So now we just have to, oh yeah. So now I have to let it rise. So that's what takes a long time. So it's warm. And you're gonna keep it in this warm environment in the bowl. And I'm gonna cover this and let it rise for 2 hours. Then I'm gonna punch it down and let it rise for 2 more hours. So in the meantime, I'll be doing prep work and things like that. So I'll be right back, but you won't notice it. Okay, I'm back. Some time has passed for me, not for you guys, but the dough rose about 2 times the size. I should have showed you, but I'm trying to move forward and trying to eat. But I'll show you when it comes out. It rose 2 times the size. I punched it down again, and I've covered it with a bowl so that it can rise one more time. So once again, like I said, the dough, it's a lot of work, but it's so worth it. The dough will make your pizza special. And the other thing that'll make your pizza special is the fresh basil. I mean, I have some fresh basil here. And the recipe calls for a teaspoon of it, but you know, it's one of those ingredients. I washed it off, so it's kind of wet. I tried to grow fresh basil. I'm gonna show you my fresh basil. That's my fresh basil. It's not fresh anymore, and I don't know why I'm trying to hold on to the one last little twig. And I'm also trying to grow kale, but it was fine until the winter time, and then I'm just not good at growing stuff. So I went and bought some fresh basil. So I'm gonna cut up this basil, cut the stems off. I'm not a fast cutter because I like to keep my fingers. It's cut up pretty well. And you're gonna just, you know, that's just one of the ingredients you're gonna sprinkle all around the pizza. Now I'm gonna cut up an onion and a green pepper. And once again, it's your pizza. You can kind of put whatever toppings you want to put on it. I've already rinsed off my vegetables. I never claimed to be a good cutter, but I promise the pizza is going to taste good. I think the fact that stuff is not perfectly cut makes it taste better. Maybe that's just in my mind. And same thing with the onion. I probably should just try to cut this one time and save whatever I don't use now. I can just save it for later. So this is one way to cut an onion. And this is another way. And I'll have plenty of onions for my next recipe. So the recipe calls for 1/3 pound of mozzarella, and I'm probably going to do a little bit more of that, but basically I'm going to coat the bottom of the pan with the bottom of the dough with mozzarella. I'm just going to make some slices like this, and then I'll just, like, you know, make a tile bottom. I wonder if my cheese thing will be better. I got all kind of gadgets. Oh, that's nice. They're not as thick though. Let's see. I'm using the cheese cutter. Boy, that makes it much faster. Gotta get gadgets. I know next time y'all go into Walmart, anybody who don't have one of these gadgets, you're gonna be like, can we pick up one of them cheese cutters? And then you'll never use it, so. Can we get one of those ninjas that cut up all those onions that fast? I actually use that, and I use a key cheese cutter as well. All right, so most of my ingredients are prepped now. So in about 10 minutes, I'm gonna take the dough out. I mean, not 10 minutes for you, but for me. And I'll be back. I think I'm also gonna add some mushrooms to this recipe. So a little known fact, my love for pizza, besides being a New Yorker, this is not a New York style pizza, but when I was in college, I worked at Pizza Hut. I just wanted to cook. I just wanted to mess with the whole cooking line and see how they make their pizza. So that was kind of fun, but I went in there with a briefcase and they thought I was coming in for a management position. And I said, no, I just want to apply for cook. And they talked about me so much after. I mean, eventually they made me a manager, but they teased me. They said, when you walked in, we just knew you were coming in to try to be a manager, and you said you just want to be a cook. So I know there's a lesson in there somewhere, but I really just wanted to cook. So as a manager, obviously, I got a chance to get on there and cook. I used to be able to fold the boxes fast, too. Okay, so now I have my dough, and this is my pan. So I need to spread this dough out a little bit. Now I can do it with my fingers, but I think I'm gonna try to roll it out a little bit. I have it on parchment paper, so it's easy for me to move. Ideally, you want the edges to go up the side of the pan. I'm preheating my oven to 475, and maybe that's why it's getting hot. Or it could be because our sponsor is Bailey's. So smooth. All right, that looks nice. Perfect. This is the fun part, transferring it. I don't want to break the dough, but I might. Beautiful. And then you just push it up to the edges. So I'm gonna use my roller to cut off the edges, cut off the excess. No longer need my parchment paper. I'm preheating the oven to 475, like I said. If you do this right here, this will cut off the excess dough. All right, so you just get rid of this. Save it for a rainy day if you want. But anyway, so that's what it's supposed to look like. Now the fun part. I've already lined up my ingredients so I can make this part quick. Because you've already waited all day for the dough to do what it had to do. So now that you have it, you can just roll. All right, so we're gonna start with our cheese, which is the difference. You know, New York pizza has sauce and cheese on the top, whatever. This is gonna have cheese on the bottom. So we're gonna layer this. I'm leaving just like a ½ inch, not even for it to, so the cheese can expand and everything can cook together. But you want it to be cheesy, so if you gotta move them close together, be sure to do that. All right, so there's your cheese. Now, you could do this one of two ways. You could either start putting your toppings on, like your green pepper, onion, pepperoni or whatever, but I'm gonna put the sauce on next, and then I'll put the toppings with the sauce, okay? So the sauce was the crushed tomatoes, or you can use stewed Italian style tomatoes. That's what I used last time, it was really good. I'm gonna use the crushed tomatoes today though. In Pizza Hut, I remember applying tomato sauce with a spoon, and that's what I'm gonna do today. I've already measured out, it's 2 cups, but you know, now you just kind of got to use your judgment. But you want to spread evenly. And you know, your pizza is going to be as good as the sauce you use. So I'm giving Hunt's a shot. I should have tasted it first because I bought 2 kinds just in case I don't like it, but whatever, we're going to go with this. I'm sure it'll be good. But if you have a sauce that you prefer, you know, and you know it tastes good in your spaghetti or whatever you use it for, then put it where you like, as Bob Ross would say. All right, I'll just leave that there for now. I'm gonna get like something so I can drizzle some garlic right here on this part. So I'm gonna put garlic, minced garlic. I'm spreading it throughout the sauce. You don't want clumps of garlic in any one spot, so just be sure to spread it out. I put the basil on now, because I don't want the basil right on top because I don't want it to burn or anything. I'd rather cover the basil with some of the other ingredients. Let's get some onions in there. Let's do the mushrooms. And I'm not cutting them up. I like them big and chunky, so I'll spread them around so that you know, it's not just mushroom. See, this part is fun and quick. Put my big giant green peppers. I did a terrible job cutting the green peppers, if I say so myself, but I'm gonna rock with it today. It's too big. There'll definitely be a green pepper in every bite. All right, that's good. And now, pepperoni. All right, I think that looks pretty. What do you think? Can you see it? I'm gonna put some seasoning on it. Some oregano. And I'm gonna put Italian seasoning, which has oregano, but I want oregano to be the predominant flavor. Okay, I probably could have put that on when the sauce was put on, but that's all right. Now we're gonna put some Parmesan cheese and top it with some olive oil. Man, this is gonna be so good. You ever cook something and it took all day to cook and, or it took a long time to cook, it didn't take all day, but it takes a long time and then it doesn't come out right? Like, don't you hate that? I remember one time my mom made lasagna and it took her all day to make the lasagna. We were kids, and when we ate it, we discovered that the ricotta cheese had gone bad. So the whole lasagna was messed up. She cried. I felt so bad for her. I love my mom. But anyway, we're gonna drizzle some olive oil like that, just a little. I don't want it to saturate, I just wanna do a drizzle. All right, and that is it. Now we're gonna put this in the oven for 35 to 45 minutes, but I check on it because I definitely don't want it to burn all this time I put into it. So I'll probably check at 30 minutes, it's at 475. And then, you know, if it's good, then I'll take it out. I can't wait to show you how it comes out. Okay, 30 minutes have gone by. Actually, I checked at around 28. Looked like the crust was getting a little dark. What I would have done differently, now that I think about it, I would have brushed the crust with like olive oil or butter or something. I think that might have made the crust cook slower so that the pizza could cook. But I'm gonna think it's done, so I'm gonna pull it out now and show it to you. Yep, so it's done. There you go. First, I'm gonna let it cool for a while so that, you know, everything can get soaked in real well. And then I'll cut it. Let's cut the pizza. I gotta pick it up. This is how we would do it, you know, in the Bronx. Yep. Okay, I'm sorry. So that's how you make Chicago style pizza. Thanks for watching. Maybe I'll make something else. I don't know. All right, talk to you later.